Hey guys, Marcel here with PPG, back here again with another DBS deck profile. This is the deck that I took to North Carolina last weekend and got top 32 with it. So without further ado, let's get into the deck profile. This event I actually didn't take Vegeta this time. I wanted to try out Starter Goku since I won the last two events. If you guys want to know what the effect is, on the front side it says when this leader attacks, untap a blue energy. On the back side, when it attacks, untap 2 blue energy, and if you have 5 or more energy, gain 5,000 attack for the turn. Let's start with our one-drop searchers. We got Majin Buu and Bundle Curiosity, and we got Bulma, Support of the Future. She searches out these Trunks cards. They happen to be blue and green, so it's actually searchable energy that you want to use on turn 1 to fix your energy for the next turn. Majin Buu and Bundle Curiosity are a great card that just play a body on board and cycle further in your deck, hopefully to find your result of training, which is how you awaken this deck. Next, we're going to be using Objection in the main board. Kind of surprising. I'm kind of 50-50 on this card myself. You can put it in the sideboard or the main board depending on preference, but this is very useful in the Cell matchup, Cell and Androids, because you want to have a small hand size, but you want to have more energy than them, so you can do more plays. Next, we're going to go to our defensive cards. We want to run 3 negates, not too much, not too little, just to survive a little bit longer. We got 4 Sensu Beans, greatest defensive card in the game, and 4 boost attack Piccolos, no questions asked, just necessary in all blue decks. In addition to more defensive cards, we're gonna run Raging Spirit Son Gohan. When this card's comboed, it comes into play rested, which is great for not only comboing defensively, but also building up a board during your opponent's turn, which makes the maximum use of your energy for the turns, which is great because this leader has a lot of energy for the turn. Next, we're going to move on to our battle cards, and we actually have a good combo with this deck where we run black cards with Kale. Kale is a great card when you're under 5 cards. You actually get a draw card, which is really awesome with in combination with Objection, where your hand size is usually pretty low. And black cards are really useful for having another resource to summon battle cards. And Kale actually, instead of these cards going to the warp by the end of your turn, they actually go to your discard pile, which makes them playable the next turn by filling up your discard pile. Mass Saiyan is really good for the Mecha Frieza matchup, because usually they like to Cold Bloodlust, maybe Kale or another KO card, and they don't expect you to summon another KO card on the same turn. And Time Punch Trunks is just great, just keeps another cycle card actually in your deck, and it's perfectly paired with Kale to get back into the discard pile. More battle cards, which are actually going to be your removal threats. These cards are the Promo Gohan and Energy Boost Beerus. These cards just simply say KO a card on your opponent's field if you meet the requirements. This is very important for killing big threats like the 7-drop Cell that a lot of people play. Specifically this card, because it only costs 4 to use with no requirement, unlike Beerus, which is 5 energy to play it. You really need to get rid of that 7-drop as fast as possible, or else it'll do too much damage to your game plan. Next, the bread and butter of this deck that fits best with this leader is going to be the 5-drop Super Saiyan Gotenks. This card is essentially just a 1-drop with this leader because it untaps 2 energy. Specifically, you want to choose green, and this leader will untap the blues that are also tapped. So this 5-drop turns into 3 when it's played by itself. After you attack with the leader, it becomes a 1-drop. You can play another threat in the same turn, which is pretty awesome. On turn 6, you can actually play 2 of them. And last but not least, we got our Awakening cards. Very important in this game. You really need to find a way to awaken, or else people can just stall you for the rest of the game, build up a ward, and kill you. This stops that. Obviously, resulted training, very simple, always been used. You have to get to 5 energy, tap 1, untap 4, awaken. Relatively hard to find if you don't have cycle cards, so you kind of want to abuse all the cycle cards in the deck to find this. And an interesting card that I wanted to use and try out was Furious Yell Vegeta. A lot of people knew that I ran resulted training, but they didn't expect the Furious Yell, so they left me at 5 most of the time, and I surprised them by actually putting myself to 4, removing a card off their board, and playing a threat myself, and awakening, which is really strong. Now that was the deck, the main board. Here's the sideboard that I used. Sometimes the Furious Yell mechanic wouldn't work, so I would have to side it out for another results of training, max it out, just for consistency's sake. Next, max out the Raising Gohans against certain matchups like the Android and Cell matchup. It was really strong to just minus a card from my hand, create board pressure, and combo out of any damage, so my hand size kept relatively small. It's also great against the Vegeta matchup to defend my life from crits. Next, also against Vegeta, is great Jocos. This, when they double strike Champa you, you just bounce it back, so you only minus 1 card and you survive a double strike crit. It's very useful in staying alive, waiting for your results of training turn, so you can come back into the game. Next is going to be the third Gohan promo. I actually might switch this back to Kale, because Kale is actually really strong in this deck. Not only is it crit and higher stats, but it also draws you a card. It's a lot of stuff, which is why that card is so worth in this format right now. Another interesting card I wanted to try was Energy Power Gotenks. This card actually is really amazing in the mirror match. When the opponents are awakened, they have to discard a card automatically, and they usually want to defend their life anyways, so it's essentially a -2 from their hand with this card. Now for the Cell and Android matchups, sometimes, usually for Cell specifically, Cell's birth and play their whole chain on turn 2, and I'm not ready to deal with it with the my promo Gohan to kill the 7-drop, so sometimes I have to use the Mysterious Presence Manaka. It's really strong. As long as you have no cards in your field, bounce that card back into the top of their deck and throw anything underneath it into their discard pile. So it's really hard for them to get the 7-drop back on the field after this play. Alongside the Cell matchup, you sometimes want to ramp out faster than them, which is why you run objections. And just play Zeno the Playing God, reset the whole board state, hopefully try to awaken at a high life. Whoever has a higher life total usually wins the game after Zeno has been played. Alongside more maxing out of cards, we just max out the Bulma Trunks line with another Trunks card, and max out. Sometimes the what is it called? Mass Saiyan wasn't as useful, so I took him out and maxed my Trunks cards instead. And that's going to be it for the sideboard and the main deck. So thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe, like, comment. Make sure to check out DBS singles on ProPlayGames.com and check out our Ultra Pro sponsor products. And thank you for watching.